Today is 2026 Easter. I just talked to Antonio Monteiro yesterday about the soundtrack to the book and film we're producing with three saxophone players, Minister Eddie Howard Jr., Minister Dean Robertson, the lead guitar player for the Ohio Players, and Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam. We've been working on the soundtrack. The government in 1990 didn't know what they were doing. The Honorable Judge Brooks Smith knew that he couldn't judge a case. No one could judge a case. If he can't judge a case, no one can judge a case. Both attorneys said, well, what we have here, it's some layman little poor white people. They're going to come in after the case with their little neuroscientists, NSA, NASA, and their little surveillance, and they're going to pull the plot and the scam. They're going to be forcing monetary movements on you, striking your nervous system, striking your testicles, your penis, your neck, pressing on your heart, pressing on your chest. That's some little stupid white boys, poor little white people that work for the U.S. government. They don't mean nothing to nobody. No president will listen to them. No judge will listen to them. They just what you call fools. So the fools really think they're going to stop the $10 billion brand. Linda Montgomery was recruited out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania, 1975 to 2025 to be a witness. It is personal damage and property damage. The reason why we put the exhibits as the property and always let you show a remix production that's going to be by Janet Jackson. She's going to bring in $100 million a year from that remix, and with merchandising, Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam is going to remix it, inshallah. And we visited Terry Lewis's home to talk to him, Chris Dolman and I, and for me to examine his skills and his wisdom with Janet Jackson and his Terry Lewis and Janet Jackson with Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam Productions. Now, Terry is an expert on voice control and voice skills. But the issue was we put the music and the evidence into exhibits. So to have a resistance act against the retaliation plot. Now, when you retaliate, number one, you can't retaliate on a case that there is no case. It was a stunt case to promote the $10 billion brand. Also for the Deuteronomy 28:6 day. We visited HBCU in Spelman, offered them $50 million for Everyone Loves a Black Woman brand. Jackie tried to boom, boom, bought her. She said, priest, you can't go in here dressing in your home apparel as Arabic because they're not used to nobody walking here talking about they're going to give them $50 million and they take 25 and you take 25. Now that could happen at Pitt, but this is not Pitt, this is Spelman. They're not used to nobody just walking in here and talking in there. But the lawyers, they're not going to understand it, and neither is the staff. But I'm telling you, do not go in here dressed in your home apparel as an Arabic from the lineage of Ishmael, because it's not going to work. Now, my father was a preacher in Biloxi, Mississippi. He would tell you the same thing. So basically, John said, they're going to be snapping your neck. Just little poor white people. They mean nothing to nobody. Minister Eddie Howard Jr., Minister Dean Robertson not thinking about no little poor-ass white people in the U.S. government. And neither is Dr. Melvin Howard. And neither is anybody in New York, Chicago, and anybody in the government. And FBI Gina Blunt would laugh at them. FBI Walter Weiner said, you can't worry about them. Those are stupid little people. They're going to retaliate when they kidnap you December 7, 1999, based on the Honorable Judge Joe Brett's birthday, December 7, 1932. But they're interfering in a $10 billion brand. And we'll be doing the production with Pittsburgh Films here this year. We've already started the production. We have the film script for one of the productions, and it's already in motion, and we're going to give them $50 million for the production of the film, even though it's only $10 million to do the production. But it's going to start off with $10 million and then turn into $25 million for some of the marketing. But we don't want the government interfering and playing their little kiddie games. Judge Brooks Smith will stop them. The Third Circuit Court of Appeals will stop them. The Supreme Court will stop them. They'll put out a restraining order on them and tell them, stop harassing Charlie. Stop harassing University of Pittsburgh. Coach Jackie Show's not listening to you. Dan Marino, J.C. Pelusi, Dave Pizzulli knows. And little white boy, you're forcing monetary movements on my neck. Playing your little white boy game. You're dealing with a $10 billion brand, not your little poor self. You'll never be able to go to the Country Club of the South. At the Country Club of the South, some of the brothers inquired to me, said, well, what do you and Chris have planned for after your professional careers for football? I said, well, I don't play. I turned down an offer from John Starr from the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1982, and then Coach Joe Daniel for the Cleveland Browns, and Coach Burns from the Minnesota Vikings, and Bill Frelick from the Atlanta Falcons, and the CFL professional ranks when Dan Short and Jeffrey Baldwin and I visited. I was training Jeffrey Baldwin to fight Mike Tyson before he fought Buster Douglas. But Coach Reno said cause we're going to buy the brand, the last over ATG. Francisco University wanted to buy the brand. But their endowment is $100 million. We've already discussed it with the Francisco community, and we have a book reading down in Steubenville, Ohio. We already did one in Steubenville Library last year, 2025. It's a little white boy. You're dealing with a $10 billion brand. Stop playing your game with your neuroscientist, study of the brain and the nervous system and the spinal cord. Linda Montgomery's not amused by you. She knows she has a $1 million credit line and $100,000 personal use and a $500,000 cash save to pay off her credit line. I've already informed the bank. They already know. Everybody know. The travel agents already know she's going to be going to her homeland in Kenya. You can't stop. I already had the passport. Little white boy. Every black federal agent will laugh at you. And as they say, you speak with them in a stammering tongue. That's me. And the other Africans will speak to the people here that were oppressed for 4 years. You're not going to stop Deuteronomy 28:6, and you're not going to stop the film production, and you're not going to stop the University of Pittsburgh. Greg Mines, the Bill in the restroom, Jerry Browski, Dr. Ralph Fady, Dr. Wayne DuBartolo will laugh at you. Striking me in my testicles with your little sonic weapons and your little schemes and your scams. We use ultrasound at the University of Pittsburgh. It's the same thing. You can use it with your NASA program, whoever you want, but you're not getting anywhere. Nobody will believe you because you're not anything. You have no standing in working for the government. You're poor little white people. You'll never make $50 million a year because you're a public servant. John Husek said they don't know the possession of life. That's why we're setting them up. And Judge Brooks is setting them up with this Rule 32. So is the Third Circuit, or the Third Circuit just can't read the motions. It's a Supreme Court case. It's not no white boy case. And no white boy can intercept the case and play his little game and pretend like he want an ongoing investigation because he's stupid. How could he do an ongoing investigation when there is no investigation, when there is no case? It was a setup under 1 Corinthians 1:27, Psalms 110:7.